Michael Bisping predicted that the fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria won't happen anytime soon. Imagine Ilia Topuria getting the opportunity to move up and become a 3-division champion. Again, I've always talked about this. Nobody has ever done that, and honestly, I don't think that's going to happen just yet. Ilia is going to have a title defense. We don't know who it will be against yet. It could be Arman Tsarukyan, who is fighting in Qatar next week. It could be Paddy, or it could be Justin Gaethje. Either way, he has to fight one of those guys, and he'll have to defend his title a few more times before even thinking about moving up to welterweight. And when you look at welterweight, that division is completely crazy right now. Of course, Michael Morales deserves a title shot. He's 19-0 and just knocked out Sean Brady. And Carlos took out former champion Leon Edwards in a truly shocking fashion. Nobody had ever done that to Leon. So he has a chance too. Shavkat was the original #1 contender, but he got injured. Bilal Muhammad is going to fight Ian Gary, and Ian keeps campaigning that he deserves a title shot too. And behind all of that, you still have the Nigerian nightmare Kamaru Usman. There will absolutely never be a shortage of opponents. Oh, and you also have Joaquin Buckley. The official rules have been confirmed for the fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. This fight will be contested as a sanctioned professional heavyweight bout, consisting of 8 3-minute rounds, and 10-ounce gloves will be used. Furthermore, Anthony's weight cannot exceed 245 pounds. The fight is scheduled to be broadcast live on Netflix on December 19th. Meanwhile, Netflix announced that the Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua fight was confirmed by posting this on their Twitter page. Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua, a professional heavyweight showdown that will shape the course of both careers, broadcasting live and exclusively on Netflix Friday, December 19th. Following the news of the Jake Paul vs. Anthony Joshua fight, Jake Paul made the following statement. "When I beat Anthony Joshua, all doubt will disappear, and no one will be able to say I don't deserve a shot at a world title." Anthony Joshua conveyed his determination for the match with these words. "I can take on anyone, Jake or whoever. There are no favors being done. I'm getting ready to break Jake Paul's face all over the internet right now." In a podcast yesterday, Henry Cejudo assessed that Islam Makhachev has already surpassed Khabib's achievements, while Kamaru Usman maintained that no one can match the impact Khabib left on MMA. When Kamaru asked Henry if he thought Islam's legacy was greater than Khabib's, Henry responded, "Yes, purely based on accomplishments, 100%. Islam's number of title defenses, plus he has 2 division titles. But the funny thing is, if those two fought, Khabib would win. And Islam himself said it. He said, 'If I fight Khabib, he beats me.' But this is all just hypothetical, right?" Kamaru replied, "But honestly, I think it's hard to say definitively when you consider what Khabib has done for this sport and for the Muslim community. Of course, there were Muslim fighters before Khabib. But the impact Khabib showed, carrying all of that on his shoulders, I think it was truly amazing. And the way Khabib took care of his opponents too. So, it's really hard to say. But I definitely think Islam Makhachev is at the top right now." Kamaru Usman also called a potential matchup with Islam Makhachev a scary matchup, adding that it's because Islam's game has no holes. "I'm not trying to overly praise him, I'm just telling it like it is. The reason I think it would be the most competitive matchup for me is that when you look at a fighter like Islam, you don't really see any weak spots. That's the part that kind of scares me. It gets my heart pumping, and that's when the most ridiculous performances come out. The last time I felt that way was with Colby Covington. It was the same back then. A guy who can wrestle as well as I can, grapple as well as I can, maybe not strike as well, but still good enough striking. I was up against an opponent who was great in every aspect. How do you win against a guy like that? And that's where I live. That point where your soul truly ignites to fight. So if you're asking me what the most competitive matchup is right now, I would definitely say the fight with Islam. Islam is truly exceptional. Just look at the performance he put on yesterday. Islam is great." Kamaru Usman also expressed confusion that Dillon Danis, one of the main instigators of past brawls, was even allowed into the arena at UFC 322. I was looking at my phone, and I saw Dillon Danis hugging GSP. He probably came to say hello to GSP. So I thought, wow, they let this guy in here? The public enemy #1 in a place with this many people? Honestly, Dylan Danis has talked trash to me before, talked trash to my manager, and talked trash to Masvidal. He's just a guy who went around picking fights and talking trash to everybody. And they let a guy like that in here? And this isn't the first time this has happened. Remember the chaos during Khabib versus Conor McGregor? That was the most viral incident for years. And guess who Khabib jumped the cage and ran after? It was Dylan Danis, and they let that guy back here again, where there are a lot of Dagestani people gathered.